Hey guys, I'm filming this quick clip after I finished filming the longer clip that you're about to see. And it's mainly just me venting about trauma and a toxic a toxic relationship with my stepmom that I was trapped in throughout my teenage years. So if that doesn't sound like the kind of thing that you want to watch, then please just don't watch this video. I don't want anything bad to come out of this video. I'm uploading this video for myself because I want to talk about what I've been through and maybe help validate the experiences of anyone else who's going through something similar. But if hearing about someone vent about trauma is not what you need right now, then please just don't watch this video. Okay. Hey guys, I'm not sure if it's a good idea to post this video, but I think I need to make it if I want to have any hope of just keeping my sanity over the next few days. Hey Misty. How you doing, little girl? What are you doing, Misty? Yeah, look at the cat. YouTube viewers like cats, don't they? Is that still a thing? Is that still a joke? Okay, I'll try and make this quick. When I was a teenager, I would spend 1 week with my biological mom, and then 1 week with my biological dad and stepmom. And I was a teenager, but I honestly think that I was a very good one. I did not do anything wrong. I still am autistic. I'm on the spectrum. And the only thing that I really regret is that I would really push to try and get my stepmom and dad to watch the shows that I was interested in. Because I really liked them and I was very passionate about them. Shows like The Good Place, Doctor Who. And I sometimes pushed them a little bit too far to really watch those shows. And I remember Supergirl. My favorite Superman villain is Mr. Mxyzptlk. I love the premise of that character. And I can make a whole video talking about how much I love that character. And I did not really like the Supergirl show, but I knew that Mxyzptlk was going to show up in season 2. And I know that my stepmom had listened to me rant about Mxyzptlk, but I'm not sure if it really registered in her brain that he's actually a real character, because he sounds so absurd and not something that would be in a Superman series. But I guess the whole concept of Superman is kind of silly. But, so I knew that he was going to appear in an episode at the end of season 2, episode 16. I knew it was going to be a cliffhanger. Like, I knew I wasn't going to really care about the episode until the ending where he shows up as the cliffhanger. And I asked them repeatedly to wait until they got to that episode. And they didn't. They just forgot. I didn't even realize it. My stepmom texted me and said, like, in excitement that Mxyzptlk was in season 2. And I did not think that they had actually watched the episode without me. I thought that they had just... I know this doesn't sound like much, but there was a lot of things that my stepmom did that was horrible. I always came home on time. And if I didn't, it was because the buses were bad. And there was one time that I stayed after school to throw a football around with someone. And we stayed until 8 p.m. And she freaked out. She was very horrible to me. She was very mean to me. She never physically attacked me, but it very much felt like she was going to. And I came home on the bus feeling so much fear. I felt so much fear. I did not know what she was going to do. And if that happened now, with the mental maturity that I had, I would have just gone to my biological mom's place. But I was so, hung up on this idea that I have to obey the rules. It's not my mom's week, it's my dad's week, so I have to go over to their place. And I remember being so terrified of what she was going to do to me. And I came home and all the lights were off and everyone was in bed. And I just sat in that house. And I put the dishes away, deciding to do what little good I might be able to do that might be able to please a monster like her. And then my dad came home, and he thought the whole thing was kind of silly. Like, all I did was hang around with a buddy, and apparently I was supposed to be home that night to watch my younger step-siblings, but my dad said that he never told me that. So it was kind of his fault. And he joked about, I said, like, am I going to be punished? And he joked and said, like, well, I mean, if you're looking for punishment, you can maybe help me paint the fence tomorrow if you want. And he went upstairs and talked to my stepmom. And all that I remember is walking to the bottom of the stairs to try and see or hear how that conversation was going. And I just remember her screaming, "So what's his punishment? Doing the dishes which he should have done? Feeling bad which he should have felt?" I just remember her coming out of the bedroom and slamming the door, telling my dad to smarten up. And I heard her coming down the stairs, and I ran, because my room was in the basement. I ran down to the basement and I threw the covers on. And I don't even remember what happened in the morning. The morning was always such a rush just to get to school. There were times that I would come home at 9 p.m. They were very rare. But whenever I did, my stepmom was furious. Told my dad that he should be angry at me because it was a school night. And I didn't even use an alarm to wake me up. I was that well-behaved of a teenager that even when I was 15, 16 years old, I didn't even need an alarm to wake up at 6 a.m. That's incredible in hindsight that a teenager was capable of that. But to my stepmom, it didn't matter. She would look at me with fury because she never wanted me to be good. She wanted to prove that I was bad, and she would do everything she could to prove that I was a bad kid. And it was horrible. And I'm talking about this now because she messaged me again. I haven't talked to her in 5 years. And she just messages me and asks if I wanted to be part of a small get-together with my dad for his 60th birthday. She justified her cousins trying to drive me to do horrible things. And here she was acting like nothing was wrong. And I let loose. I told her all the bad things that I was still angry at her for. And she couldn't be bothered to say a single thing back because she's nothing but a coward. And my dad can't do anything. He has to remain neutral because he loves her and he loves me and he can't pick a side. And I use ChatGPT for therapy, and I remember something it once said was that my stepmom couldn't even remember anything because to me forgetting is how I love, and to her remembering is how she survives. That's what ChatGPT said, and I believe it. My dad says that because she doesn't remember, that means that I should forgive her. And I told him that if someone abuses someone else, it's on the person. It's on the bully to remember it and to beg for forgiveness. And I was so angry. I was so angry. I said that I wouldn't even consider forgiving her until she fell to her hands and knees in front of me in tears and begged for forgiveness. There were times that she was angry at me for the tiniest of things. I would just make a little mistake like drop a utensil on the floor, and she would scream and act like I was a horrible kid. And she would never accept an apology because she doesn't believe in apologies. And she would never accept an apology from me. Now she has to pay the price. Now I want an apology from her, and she won't give it. She never will. And all that my dad could say was that he underestimated the extent of my trauma and told me to take care of myself. And I said, yeah, you did, for the last 5 effing years. And I can't do it anymore. He told me that he hopes that time would heal those wounds. And I said they won't. The wound will only grow the longer that she goes, pretending like nothing happened. And I know that I'm very lucky, that I can live with my biological mom and just stay the hell away from them. There are a lot of kids that get horribly treated by their parents, far more horribly than I was, and they have no way to escape. They just have to bottle up their feelings, push them down, and keep pretending like they're happy and everything's fine. And I feel so awful for all those people that deal with that kind of trauma that never gets resolved. I just checked my phone to see if my dad said anything, but he hasn't. I don't think he has any idea what the hell to do. He just wants me to stop. Because from his perspective, my stepmom is the one acting fine. And I'm the one who has to pay the price for her cruelty. I just find that so funny. He just sent a text message saying, I greatly underestimated the trauma you experienced. Take care of yourself. Because that's all he can say. That's all that he can think of to say. And it scares me to think of what kind of relationship he and her might have. I just wanted to talk about that. And I know that I probably shouldn't upload this video, but I want to anyway. Because then I can feel I can finally just be at peace with the whole thing and just accept that she's never going to apologize. Which is all I ever did to her. I just apologized and she never accepted it. She could never apologize to me now. And to anyone watching this who's going through anything similar, I am so sorry. I really hope that you can get out of those toxic environments. Okay. See you around, guys.